Minister, thanks for taking this very important subject. Minister, I want to raise the issue of the Moria camp in Lesbos in Greece. And as you know, a fire took place there 2 weeks ago that literally destroyed the camp, and people were left destitute. And all their belongings, anything that they had, was completely destroyed. And at this moment in time, thousands of people are essentially without any sort of shelter on the island of Lesbos. And this is a humanitarian crisis that has been festering for many, many years and not being addressed by the Greek government or the EU. And this is under the spectre of COVID-19. An outbreak has happened, and 35 people in the camp have been tested positive for COVID. As I said, this has been festering for many, many years, and the conditions are beyond inhumane. An Irish doctor, Minister, works on the island of Lesbos. Her name is Dr. Claire Dunn, and she works for Médecins Sans Frontières. And she paints a particularly dark and stark picture of life on the island, in the camp. And she wrote an article last year in the Irish Examiner, and it's deeply troubling, to say the least. One of children's mental health, physical health, for living in the camp. And all that comes with it, because obviously children and adults have been fleeing from war, persecution and poverty. And Minister, nearly 12,000 refugees are living in the camp, as I said, and they have been fleeing from all them. 4,000 are children and 400 are unaccompanied children. And this site was built for 3,000 people, so has four times the amount that it has catered for. And what I'm looking for you today, Minister, is a response to what Ireland are going to do. Last week, Germany stated that they will take 1,500 migrants from the camp, which is very welcome. And I know Minister O'Gorman said that 4 children, unaccompanied minors, will come to the state over the next couple of weeks, and that's to be welcomed as well. But just 2 things on that. MSF have also said that Ireland and European members simply have not done anywhere near enough in relation to this issue, and this has been left festered for so long, but now thankfully nobody was killed in the fire, but thousands of people are left destitute. But my question to you, Minister, what is Ireland's response over the coming weeks and months to take some of the children and adults in relation to this camp?
Deputy Minister.
Deputy Kenny, for raising this very important matter, which I am taking on behalf of Minister McEntee, who unfortunately cannot be here. The incident in the Moira camp on Lesbos was a tragic incident that could have had fatal consequences, and very luckily did not. Thankfully, no one in the camp was injured or killed as a result of the fire, but I would suspect that was just sheer luck. Ireland strongly supports the principle of solidarity and recognises that assistance is required for member states who face a disproportionate number of applicants and where incidences such as this can cause additional hardship. Officials in the Department of Justice and Equality currently considering how and if we can accommodate a small number of families, in addition to the commitment already made to accept 4 unaccompanied minors from the camp, which was announced by Minister O'Gorman on 17th of September. Consideration is being given at EU level to the legal mechanisms by which this can be done. In a previous gesture of solidarity, Ireland committed to accepting up to 36 unaccompanied minors from Greece. 8 of these young people arrived in Ireland in June and are now under the care of TUSLA. More broadly, and to date, more than 3,350 people arrived in the state under the first phase of the Irish Refugee Protection Programme. Last December, a second phase was announced, giving a commitment to welcome a further 2,900 refugees between this year and 2023 through a combination of resettlement and community sponsorship. The refugee arrivals this year and next year will largely comprise Syrian nationals resident in Jordan and Lebanon, along with a pilot group of 150 Eritrean refugees currently resident in Ethiopia. COVID-19 has unfortunately impacted on the timeframe for these arrivals, but Minister McEntee and her department are committed to realising the state's commitments in line with our obligations under the Irish Refugee Protection Programme. Officials are engaging with international partners to share a collective experience of how best to resume arrivals and lessons learned to date. Preparations are currently underway for the arrival of the next cohort of refugees, but a precise timeframe cannot be yet attached to this. A new pact on migration and asylum has been published today by the European Commission. It aims to provide a comprehensive approach to migration management that is sustainable, humane and effective, and which can work well on a day-to-day basis and withstand current pressures as well as the challenges of the future. Minister McEntee welcomes the publication of the new pact, which will strengthen the EU's capacity to respond to challenges that migration poses and minimise the impact that it has on lives of those who migrate and the communities in which they move.
The EU's response in relation to refugees fleeing from persecution over the last decade, and particularly the last few years, has been nothing but shameful. They have actually allowed people drown in the Mediterranean. That's fact. And they've let this camp fester. I mean, to see pictures on BBC or RTE how people are living, they're living beyond, not even living like animals, beyond that. And the EU have let that happen. Minister, I just want to refer you to the EU commitment, and Ireland has has said that they would undertake to accept 36 children from this camp. But at this moment in time, only 8 children have been accepted. But my question is, why? Why is there such a kind of the slowness to this, and why is there such the progress so slow? And again, I refer back to Dr. Dunn's analysis of the camp itself. She says, EU members should show solidarity and, give people sanctuary. That's what people are asking for, not to be treated like animals. So Ireland should respond better than they are and take more of these children which are unaccompanied, no parents whatsoever. I mean, I can't even comprehend that situation. And we should hold our hand out and accept more children from this situation and give people hope and a home. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. I can understand the disappointment with only 8 of the so far of the 36 unaccompanied minors that have been accepted by this country have only actually been arrived here in Ireland in June. I understand the difficulty has been around COVID, but I think that's something now the Department will step up and try and resolve and get those children here into this country and give them the support that they do so desperately need. And I know Minister McEntee is very much aware of this and is going to ensure that those unaccompanied minors can be facilitated to come here despite the COVID situation. As I said at the outset, officials are currently considering how and if we can accommodate a small number of families as a gesture of solidarity. We also have existing commitments regarding refugee resettlement under the UNHCR-led programme. This will include 650 refugee resettlements this year, 700 next year, 750 in 2022 and 800 in 2023. Families already resident in Ireland may also apply to bring their family members to Ireland under the Family Reunification Policy document or Family Reunification provisions of the International Protection Act of 2015. I understand the new EU Pact on Migration and Asylum contains a comprehensive series of actions, including some new legislative proposals across the full range of migration policies, including addressing the root causes of migration, the reform of the Common European Asylum System, crisis preparedness and a response in cooperation and partnership with third countries. The proposals, including the legislative initiatives, will require careful consideration as to their implications for Ireland, but will continue to be a constructive participant in the negotiation process. But I can assure the Deputy that I will very much bring his concerns to Minister McEntee's attention. Thank you.